Hi, I'm Vicki Wagner, and welcome to Lesbian Knows Best. Today our topic is Don't Settle. My guest today is Carolyn Hudson, and she's from Fort Myers, Florida, and we have a little story to tell about when people really shouldn't settle and when not to stay in a relationship when you really shouldn't. Carolyn, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I am a singer and songwriter. I just moved here a couple years ago from New York City, and I'm come to Los Angeles to kind of start a new life.
But you actually had a boyfriend who you took to the altar almost, right?
Yes, I did.
But tell me a little bit about that.
Well, that was several years back, and we were dating for about 3 years, and it was a time when I really thought, this is somebody I could marry, this is the appropriate person, this is somebody that I could potentially see myself with. But, so we actually did get engaged.
Well, you did? Okay, so
Yeah.
what happened? You didn't go through with it? I mean, you were with the guy for 3 years,
yes,
right?
I was with him for 3 years, and it was probably a couple years too long. But
didn't you tell me that you left him the day
Yeah,
before the wedding? You said, that's it, I don't want to be with you no more?
I said,
I mean, how do you date a guy for 3 years and not know,
I know
the day before the wedding
that
this ain't the guy?
I think that it was that that it kind of took that like a rushing. I felt like we were rushing to the altar, which we really weren't. But it just kept, this feeling inside me just kept going and going, like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong.
Well,
and
what was wrong
finally,
with it? I mean, you were with him for 3 years. It couldn't have been that wrong.
I know, and we were friends. He just was very, I don't know how to say it, conservative.
Well, he was conservative. What do you mean? He paid his
He
taxes
was-
on time? He wore a business suit? He was
Yes,
Republican?
he did. Yes.
What is conservative?
All of those things, and I just started to
I mean,
feel,
he wasn't a hippie? I mean,
No, and I felt like I was a hippie compared to him, but I felt like I was just trying, he was just trying to contain me. He was trying to make me into the wife, the mother, the picket fence.
But
I saw my life ahead of me.
But you wanted to get married to him. I mean, isn't that what all women want? Well, they want to be
you
the
would
wife,
think.
the mother, the wife.
We do. We do want to.
What happened?
Most women do want to, and so that's why I let it go as far as it did, because I thought that's what I wanted as well, or that's what I thought I should have.
Okay, so you were dating this guy for 3 years, and all the time he's thinking, "Oh, I'm going to marry this lady."
Yeah, absolutely.
We send
She's
out our
perfect.
wedding. We send out our wedding
Yeah.
invitations. This, the one, and then the day before you drop the bomb.
That's right.
Okay.
I just felt like I couldn't do it. It felt like just this huge cliff I was about to jump off, and I just couldn't do it.
Okay, but so basically, what we're talking about here is settling, aren't we?
Yes.
And so basically, you felt somewhere in your heart you couldn't sell it.
Correct.
And so basically, you had this guy, and you probably, honestly, you probably did him a favor, right?
I did do him a favor. He's married now and has 2 kids. He's so happy, and I'm happy too.
I mean, so if you would have actually gone through it and get married,
We would be divorced.
you'd be divorced, and then you would
Absolutely.
just, the relationship would have gone nowhere, right?
It would have gone nowhere.
So you actually have to know yourself, and our advice for people is you got to know yourself. I mean, you've got to know your own self and what you want and what you don't want. Am I right?
Absolutely.
And whether or not a guy is the perfect guy, he's nice and conservative, he has a job.
On paper.
He wears a suit, yeah.
Yeah.
He wears a suit and tie, he provides, probably took you out. Not necessarily always mean that you should stay with that person. I mean, for you, you kind of told me you were like almost opposite. I mean, didn't you tell me he tried to like put you in a little box and when you're having fun, he wanted to squash it?
Absolutely. Like I feel like if I had the volume on 8, he wanted me at a 2. He was always trying to kind of
But why did you put up with that for 3 years?
I felt like it was what a woman should do, or it was what you should do in a relationship. It's all about compromise. I mean, you look at like my parents or people of that generation, where the woman is supposed to be more demure, supposed to be a little less than.
Okay. So basically, you're with this guy. He's in love with you. He wants to be with you, and then you just. I mean, did you give the poor guy, any indication whatsoever? I mean, I'm sorry. I've got to. I feel sorry for the guy.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I feel for both of you, but
Right.
in this sense, you didn't give him any indication that he wasn't the one.
No, not until it was almost too late.
And then how did you tell him? Just say, "See you later," or?
I just said. I remember we were eating dinner one night, and this is right up before the wedding, and I just remember eating and not really thinking about it, and just all of a sudden blurting out, "I just don't think I can love you enough to marry you. Will you pass the salt, please?"
Really? That's how you told him?
Yeah, but I didn't even
Did
think.
he start crying, or what happened?
Oh yeah, it was terrible. I didn't realize what I had said.
Well, let me ask you a
It just
question.
came up and
Are you happier today for doing that?
God, yes.
Are you?
Absolutely.
Do you think he's happier today for doing that?
Absolutely.
So the message that we want to tell people is, you may be with somebody, you may be in a relationship with somebody who you think that you're in love with, but the point is that most people really don't know each other, and they really don't take the time to get to know each other, and they finally put it all on paper. What my advice is you should put it all on paper. What is it that I really want from this person, and is this person making me feel a certain way?
Yes.
And if they're not making me feel a certain way, I got to go. I've got to move on. And basically the point is, don't settle. I mean, we all get to the point where we want to be with somebody. We want to, know we can have date night on Friday, sex night on Saturday, whatever, however it works. You want your significant other to be there, but there's somebody else who's going to suit your needs a lot better. And as from Carolyn, she's a singer, a songwriter. Things have worked out really well for her. And my advice is, don't settle, and don't be with a woman who there's something there, it's just not with it. And ladies, don't be with a guy who he just doesn't do it for you, and don't let anybody continue. Anybody has any advice or thoughts and wants to write into the show or tell anything to Carolyn about, maybe settling or congratulate her, please, write into the show at www.lesbiannosebest.com. I'm Vicki Wagner. Thank you very much for being on the show.